Hey everyone, I just wanted to introduce to you Odin. It's a desktop chatbot that can connect to multiple AI languages. Basically, right now it's connecting to Open Router. Right now its default is set to Grok, but I can connect to any Open Router text-to-text model right now. And soon I will be connecting to multimodal stuff so I can analyze images. I can still connect to things like Claude. I just can't submit images yet, but I'll be getting to that in the future. So I just want to give a demonstration of it. So if I say, hey, it's going to reply back as you would expect. It also has memory built into it, procedural, so it generates more memory as you go and it remembers the entire conversation. So if you give it a simple Turing test that I like to do, like I'll say, hey, my name is Sean and I work in tech. So it knows my name is Sean and I work in the tech field. And remember, this is through AI Grok and from X, and I found it's pretty good for reliability and response and everything else. Then I'll say make up 5 random names. And once again, some things are giving me issues, like these little NT tags that are remaining over. I'm still kind of ironing out the bugs, and it's not as fast as it could be, but it's pretty fast, but not as fast. So I'm working on that. So now that we have 5 character names, I'll say give 5 character backstories. Oop, I'm not typing. Give 5 character backstories. And it'll generate all the backstories for each one of those 5 characters. Soon I'll be working on type streaming, so it'll be much more flowing into the chat window than appearing all at once. Because right now it just sends it all at once. And once again, don't worry about these little NT tags. I'm getting rid of that. So right now you can see Corvid Blake, Renzo Quill. So it has all of them in order, giving backstories. And I'll say I want these characters to go on a journey from New York to California to Mexico in that order with the random order of appearance, which will be useful later on. So I'm just telling it to put everything in there kind of random, not in this list, just kind of a random order. So now it'll give me the story where they all went from New York, California, to Mexico, and in a random order of appearance. So give it a second for that. It'll be much faster when I have all the other stuff. So you can see here it's already looking good. California to Mexico, en route to Mexico, New York to California, California to Mexico, blah blah blah. All the names are there. Corvin Blake. Um, then we have like Elra Voss. Let's see. The next one was Corvin Blake, and then Tasman Aura was the next one. These are interesting names. So that's a random order of appearance. Now, since we have the story printed out, I'm going to say list me the characters in this story in order of appearance. And so now the list of character names will be from the story, not from the original one they sent. So as you can see, it's Corvin, Tamsin, Alara. So in the beginning one they had Corvin, Alara, Michael, and Tamsin was fourth. So it's going off here. Corvin, Tamsin, Alara. So that's where the names are coming from. Okay, and on top of this, we also have the ability to go to a new conversation or clear this chat. So clear the chat just gets rid of this, but it doesn't make a new window or new text file. New conversation clears this and makes a new text file for it to remember from. And also, if I could say, what is my name and industry that I work in? So it should say, my name is Sean and I work in tech. Yep, perfect. So Turing test passed. Well, like the really basic Turing test that I like to do. So you can see everything's logical in order, and it does a fairly long input, and it's all been perfect so far for responses. Besides the little NT tags that I had talked about earlier. So now if we go to new conversation, I can say, "What is my name?" and it shouldn't have an answer since we haven't told it. It's their first interaction. So now it also has the ability to recognize and parse code blocks into usable code. So I could say um, print hello world in 10 different coding languages. And it'll give each code block in each different language with hello world marked down to the code block with copy and save code uh, options. So each one of these, for example, simple one to pick. The first one, Python, says print hello world. If I copy that one and I save it, that's printing hello world from there. If I copy the console log, save it there, and so each one of these are working as you would expect them to work. I can also save the code block directly onto the computer. And if you look on here, you can see the command prompt. You can see all the times we copied the code. If I just go to my E drive and I say hello world.py, because the Python, or this was a Python file, I think. That's the one. Soon I'm going to have it save as type. It'll be that code automatically. But for now, we're just going to do it manually. And oh yeah, because I already have it in there. So it'll be hello world.py, and it's this one here. And then you can navigate to that folder, and it'll be there, and you can run it there. So you can see hello space world, and if we have cmd python hello world, come on, hello world. Oh, I guess I should put it in quotes. Ta-da! It took longer than I expected. Than it should have, but it's there. It works. It's exactly what it should do. I could also update the model. So if I wanted to have a different model for some reason because it wasn't working for me for my certain use case, I could go to Open Router, and there are certain models that work, certain models that don't. Some work better than others, but for the most part, they all work pretty decent. So right now I have to manually add it in, but soon I will make it so you can just search for it in the window in here or have a drop down menu. It'll be more elegant than it is now. So if I update it here, then I say, who made your mod, who, and say, who developed your model? And then it'll probably give a little bit of a preamble because it's meta, but it should say eventually meta was made, or meta AI was made probably by Facebook, I'm assuming, or just meta AI. Give it a second though. Taking a little bit longer than I expected, but that's kind of expected for a alpha. It's mainly because meta takes a little bit longer to do this all stuff because it gives a bit of a preamble. But let's say if I just, you can see that it was right by Meta AI up top. Just give me the name of your model, no explanation. There, Llama. Much faster. So if we go over to Claude, once again, this is all directly through API models directly onto your computer through your Open Router API key. So we update it to Sonnet. So what's your model name? And now we're talking to Sonnet. So it'll say, I'm Claude, and blah, blah, blah. And if I say that again, it'll be more elegant if I ask it what's its name now, because it doesn't have a conversation history. It's your model name. It'll say something about being direct and transparent, direct and honest. So I'm Claude, AI assistant, blah, 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 blah. So everything works up to now. I'm going to add a few different things. Like I want to add a run code, an executor right on the program here, and then have it run directly in the CMD, the command prompt, um, or the terminal. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm planning on doing. I do have all the code for this program here, which is Odin, and all this code is here. I won't get into too much, But basically, what's happening is the engine is the entire window that pops up. So it'll run this whole root window, and then the config configures the JSON file, and that's important for this to augment the .py file. And then the batch file, runs the engine file. So the engine is the start for everything. And then when the engine runs, it'll run the brain and the GUI, and the brain is literally the memory. The memory has all the stuff connecting with Open Router and saving it. So you can see it's connecting directly to the model and saving it. And there's some memory stuff there for storage and labeling and all that. And then uh, piece of each conversation is saved into its own folder, which will be used as a full context folder for that conversation. Right now, it's just based on what I input, but eventually I want to be able to add info to the folders and then have it automatically pick up, probably with Watchdog, something like that. It'll pick up the changes in the file. And if we just have that, it'll say, what's your model name? I am Claude. So that's showing right on there. If you have the other one, that was our big long description, or what we were talking about before with the 10 different programming languages. So everything's exactly as I want, as I expected so far. I think it looks great in terms of design. It's very clean and elegant. There's the blue accent for the models, or for the coloring scheme. I just made that so it's a little bit something nicer to look at. Blue's a good color to have. And also, forgot to mention in the GUI. So this is where all the stuff you see here, the visible elements you see here. This is where that happens. So we have the custom text. It's kind of just like a website if you've ever done website programming with CSS. It's kind of similar to that. The API will kind of run everything, or the app py file will run everything. The Chatbot UI will organize all the visual elements. Chatbot UI will organize fields, buttons, custom text. So like this is a field, for example, a text field. And then the buttons are up here, another text field, window here. Um, so yeah, we're all bigger text field for that. And we also have the message parser, and the message parser takes care of handling the codes and splits up the code block for everything. So if we just jump in here, this is what happens when you it processes a code block, and it separates out the code block, as you can see here. So that's what happens when you say print a random number, not typing good, in Python. So basically how it works for the coding logic is whenever it comes across backticks, it'll take that and it'll scrape that and make it a code block like this, and it makes sure that it only unique to here. It doesn't also have it in here. So it presents all the code once, and then like I said, you can copy it right there, and boom, you just have paste it right into here. So it's ready to go. Or you could save it, like I said here, random number generator dot py in the E drive. So here, and then if we go this PC, thinking my computer, in the E drive, you see random number generator dot py, and if we go cmd python random, and it has a minimum value, so I'll put 1, and a maximum value, put 100, and I want 5 random numbers, and a yes. So remember, this is all that it did in here. It's one shot all this. So, and it gives me 5 random numbers between 1 and 100. Generate more numbers? No. And it X's it, and it even has its own little script. So that was all done just with the code directly on my computer. I didn't have to go to the browser or open web UI or anything else. It was just done in here. Um, And yeah, you could do a bunch of stuff on here. Like you can code. Eventually, you'll be able to iterate on coding programs that already happen, and it could read folders and files in the folders, so it knows exactly what's happening in the folder, and then it can tell you improvements on the folder. It's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be added to it over the next couple of weeks. Um, it's going to be a big crunch project for me that I'm trying to get done as much as possibly can, and hopefully I'll release it into a open beta soon even. I plan on doing that. I hopefully will be doing with compiled exe files, and might even do beta licenses, which would be fun. yeah, so that's everything. I hope you had fun and subscribe and follow along and comment if you're interested. Thanks. Bye.